Before we get to the show for today, I want to thank our sponsor, Anchor.fm. As you probably have heard by now, SportsWire has moved to Anchor.fm for its podcast hosting and distribution. It's the easiest way to make a podcast, and let me explain why. Main reason is that it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer, and then Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on any platform there is. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, anywhere. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So take it from me, Vinny Apicella from the Sports Wire. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are listening to the most electrifying podcast in all of internet radio today. You are listening to the Sports Wire. My name is Vinny Apicella, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for subscribing, whatever the case may be, to the Sports Wire that you can find on almost just about every podcast platform in the world, although I'm still missing a few. But I want to thank you for the support, thank you for the love, thank you for everything you do to help make the Sports Wire better. Today is Sunday, November, 24th, 2019, and actually this is my 1 month anniversary on Anchor.fm, so I want to thank you all for making this month the most successful month in Sports Wire history since coming to Anchor. I've had more listens than ever before that I ever had on Spreaker, so I want to thank you again. All right, so last night, Saturday, was the big night, the first of two big nights, or should I say the second of three big nights in WWE Universe. Friday, you had Friday Night SmackDown. Saturday, last night, was NXT TakeOver War Games 3, and you know what? It lived up to the hype. It really did. First of all, huge props to Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae as the War Games, the women's War Games match was probably the best War Games match that I've seen in a long time. And of course, they had to do something over the top for it, being that it's the first women's War Game match ever. But you know what? First of all, you had Dakota Kai take out Mia Yim earlier in the night, which obviously I don't think they ever explained that's what happened, but more than likely that's what happened, because then Dakota Kai was added to Team Rhea Ripley's team to take the spot of Mia Yim, who was injured and stretchered out of the arena. And then you had Dakota Kai take her spot on the team. But then as she was ready to go into War Games, she turned on her former best friend, Tegan Knox, and she ended up obviously making a huge void in Team Rhea Ripley and a huge impact on the match, since she attacked Tegan Knox is no longer available. She couldn't make it into the ring. And then she obviously turned her back on the team, leaving it a 4-on-2 War Games match. Therefore, you had Team Shayna Baszler, who was Shayna Baszler, Kaylee Ray, Bianca Belair, and Io Shirai, against just the team of Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae. And let me tell you something. Team Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae pulled out the win in... It was explosive. It was fantastic. Absolutely awesome. So now that actually shaped the Survivor Series team for for Team NXT for the women. It is because we had seen on Friday Night SmackDown, or at least we thought we had seen the team. It was going to be basically Team Rhea Ripley with Ripley plus Candice LeRae plus Tegan Nox plus Mia Yim and Toni Storm. Okay, so that was basically the War Games team adding Toni Storm. Okay, but now it's been reshaped. Rhea Ripley will still be the captain of the team, and it's also still going to include Candice LeRae and Toni Storm, but Io Shirai and Bianca Belair have been added to the team with the absence of Tegan Nox and Mia Yim. So I look for it to be a great Survivor Series match for the women, because if you remember, the Raw women's team is Charlotte Flair and captaining the team with Natalya, Sarah Logan. Let's see, Natalya, Sarah Logan. Oh yeah, Kairi Sane and Asuka, which I don't understand why they're on the Raw team, but whatever. They could have done so much better by putting other women there, but whatever. And then Team SmackDown, led by Sasha Banks, has Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, Carmella, and Nikki Cross. So that's going to be a really good match. And in the men's War Games, you had Team Tommaso Ciampa with Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic take on the Undisputed Era. And the fourth member of Team Ciampa, which I got wrong. I was expecting it to be John Morrison or even a returning Johnny Gargano. It turned out to be Kevin Owens. Now that throws a wrinkle into tonight's Survivor Series. Will Kevin Owens be able to coexist now with Team Raw, as he's on Team Raw? We don't know, at least as far as recording time, we still don't know the men's team for NXT tonight. So Raw's team, to remind you, is captained by Randy Orton, along with Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, Kevin Owens, and who's that fifth one? I know it's another heel. Dang. Who the hell was it? Owens. Okay, now it's time to look on the internet. I hate to do that, but it is what it is. Survivor Series 2019. Here we go. Matches and card and start time. All right. Seth Rollins is the team captain of Raw. So it's Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet. So again, I was wrong. How could I forget Seth Rollins? Sometimes he's forgettable. Against Team SmackDown, which is Roman Reigns, King Corbin, Mustafa Ali, Chad Gable, and Braun Strowman. And we still don't know the NXT team. So however, I honestly feel like Team Ciampa will be in there. Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Dominic Dijakovic. Probably adding there Matt Riddle and Isaiah Swerve Scott. And that'll probably be your SmackDown team. But that's just a thought. And the only reason why I say that is because the Undisputed Era will be already all four of their members are in other matches. As the men's tag team champions, the triple threat is going to be Viking Raiders from Raw, the New Day from SmackDown, and Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era from NXT. Then you've got AJ Styles, the United States champion from Raw, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental champion from SmackDown, and Roderick Strong, the North American champion from the Undisputed Era on NXT. Women's champions Becky Lynch on Raw is taking on Bayley from SmackDown versus Shayna Baszler from NXT. And then you've got The NXT Championship, it's going to be Adam Cole defending against Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne himself won a triple threat match against Killian Dane and Damian Priest in tonight. So could Pete Dunne become the first NXT wrestler to win both the NXT UK, WWE UK Championship and the NXT Championship as well? And then on the pre-show, you're going to have Lio Rush defend the Cruiserweight Championship against Angel Garza. You're also going to have the women, like I said, the women's match. I already went over that. And then the Universal Championship is going to be defended, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, against Daniel Bryan. I think The Fiend is going to win this match. Again, you kind of have to. The Fiend is too big. Like, they should never put the title on, in my opinion. But whatever. In the WWE Championship match, Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio, no holds barred, no disqualification. So will Cain Velasquez play a part in the match? Will Dominic play a part in the match? So those are a couple things that are going to come out of it. And we don't have a tag team 5-on-5-on-5 or 10-on-10-on-10 match. Quite honestly, I don't think there are that many tag teams available. I mean, if you look at the rosters, you do have them available. Where are the Usos, the Ascension? You know, you've got Breezango in NXT. You've got the Forgotten Sons in NXT. You've got, you can also get from NXT UK, you can get Imperium. You can get, Mustache Mountain, even though Tyler Bates has been doing a lot of singles on his own. But either way, so you can field the team of the team of 10, 5 tag teams from NXT. Raw, like I said, Usos, Ascension. Let's see, who else could be on there in that aspect? Dang, there's really not much to go with. Wow. Because a lot of the tag teams that I really know of are on SmackDown. The Revival, the B Team, Ziggler and Rude. You know, you're kind of leaving out a lot of people off this pay-per-view. How about Lashley and Rusev? That angle is going over, and they're not even on the pay-per-view. I mean, obviously they wouldn't be able to work together on Team Raw, but, at least put them in some type of a match. So we'll see. Again, we will see. But it's been a long day for me. As you know, I normally record at work. However, I will say this. Monday morning when I get home from work, I have an interview set up with Guy Evans, the author of Nitro, The Incredible Rise and Inevitable Fall of Ted Turner's WCW, or World Championship Wrestling. I will be having him as a guest on the podcast for Monday, so that'll probably end up being released Tuesday. And I have that interview set, so that's going to be good. And then I'm also working on getting another guest from across the pond, a wrestling fan from England who does her own podcast. So we'll work on that as well. But there's going to be a couple things good coming up in the Sports Wire. One bad thing. My computer decided to crap the bed today. Windows 10 that I had on there just completely died, I guess. It completely disappeared. It ghosted on me. So I have to reinstall. I hope it doesn't ask for an activation code because it was one of those things where Windows 10 was first introduced, and you could upgrade from Windows 7 or whatever, or Windows 8. So I'm kind of hopeful on that, and we'll see. Because I was able to download Windows 10 from another computer and put it on a USB drive and and then install it on my laptop. So now it's going through updates. So let's see. Let's hope. Maybe the information is still there. That'd be great. But it remains to be seen. But anyways, I want to thank you all for listening. Hopefully we'll get some more sponsors on the show. Like I said, we are SportsWire is distributed and heard on the majority of podcast platforms that you could think of. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Radio.com, Radio Public, Overcast, Castbox, Deezer, and a bunch more. So, still working on iHeartRadio, still working on a couple other places. So, I want to thank you all for listening again. My name is Vinny Apicella. Follow me on Twitter at @VApicellaSWE. Follow SportsWire on Twitter and Instagram at SportsWireAudio. You can also email me, sportswireaudio@gmail.com. Give me some information, questions, whatever you might want answered. Also, go to sportswireaudio.com. That brings you to our anchor.fm homepage there. From there, you could click the link to donate, not only to support our show, but also donate to my No Shave November cause, no-shave.org/member/Vinny881. And then, so just help us out. Thank you for listening. Tomorrow's episode will be probably going over Survivor Series, or the majority of it, as I have to be in at work at 11, so I probably have to stop watching at 10, and we'll see about finishing it. But I look for Survivor Series being a great show. I really want to see how NXT's team. Number one, I want to see how the NXT superstars do after tonight's, takeover, after War Games, and how beaten their bodies are. I really want to say that I think I honestly feel like the SmackDown women's team is going to win the 5-on-5-on-5 match. Although, the only reason why I say that is because now, you've got babyfaces and heels on all three teams. But with NXT, they just fought in War Games. So how fresh will 4 of the members be? Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, Candice LeRae, and Rhea Ripley. The only one that's going to be really fresh is Toni Storm. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, again, my name is Vinny Apicella. I will talk to you tomorrow right here on the Sports Wire.